Rassie Erasmus has officially named his 23 to face Ireland this weekend, and a couple of big calls. Very much sticking to the core of the team that has carried us so long. A lot of the team that beat France. A couple of injuries. No Kurt Lawrence, who has actually returned to South Africa with that concussion. And as a result, the first time you're going to see Canan Moodie out on the wing this tour. Jesse Kriel and Damian Willemse back in the centres. Cobus Reinach and Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu backed in the halfback pairing. Grant Williams continuing to add that impact off the bench. It is still that sort of 5.5, sort of 2.5 split with Andre Esterhuizen covering potentially flank and forward on the bench as well. And despite playing his 50th cap for RG Snyman, he has still been left on the bench, with the Boks obviously opting to go with the fact that he's a much bigger impact player for them and starting, despite the fact that it is his 50th test. They have decided to keep him on the bench, which just shows you how seriously they're taking this match, because I think that in any other circumstances, he would start, because they always try to get players to start on their 50th cap. So let's get into it, shall we? This is the team that Rassie has announced. In the front row, we have got Bowen Venter, Malcolm Marx, and Thomas du Toit. Pretty expected. It has been the front row that we have seen throughout the sort of alternation series. Obviously, last week, Malcolm Marx got a bit of a game off. But Bowen Venter has been starting most of the time. Thomas du Toit has been our starting number 3 for most of the year, alongside Malcolm Marx, who obviously also got his World Player of the Year nomination this week. Then we've got Eben Etzebeth next to Ruan Okia. Eben Etzebeth, by the way, will bring up his 140th cap this weekend. Whilst Ruan Okia, by the way, has actually just got himself up to 17 caps, nice and quietly. So approaching that big 20 cap margin, which is kind of where the Bok coaches always want players to be and going into a World Cup. So you can actually start looking at the squad and seeing how it starts to take shape. We then look at the back row that we kind of expected. Sia Khaleesi obviously captaining is in the 102nd appearance. You then got Peter Steph du Toit and Jasper Wiese in that number 8 jersey. The 19 combination of Cobus Reinach and Sacha Feinberg-Mngomezulu will continue, as, I mean, that's probably the form halfback pairing in World Rugby right now. And if it's not broken, don't fix it. Cheslin Kolbe has switched the number 14 jersey for the number 11. Very interesting not to have gone with Ethan Hooker. There must have been a temptation for that. They have resisted that temptation, however, and put Canan Moodie in the number 14 jersey. It indicates that we are going to really look at the aerial battle. And I think that that's a very deliberate matchup, Canan Moodie versus James Lowe. And a big game, Cheslin Kolbe up against potentially Matt Hansen or Tommy O'Brien or the likes. The centers are Damian Willemse and Jesse Kriel. It is experience between the two of them. I mean, 87 caps for Jesse Kriel on Saturday, 96 caps for Damian Willemse on Saturday. So, I mean, those two almost combining with 200 caps. And they know each other inside and out. And then obviously, probably our most informed player, I think, right now, Damian Willemse, on the back of 2 phenomenal games. Was great against France, was phenomenal against Italy. He starts in the number 15 jersey. On the bench, no Andre Pollard. Big call. They have continued to back Grant Williams and Moodie. And why not? They are playing so well off the bench. They are taking our team to a different level when they come on, and they are being rewarded. So it's Johan Grobbelaar, Gerard Stellenkamp, and Wilco Low, a more orthodox sort of front row placement. We then got RG Snyman, Kwagga Smith, and Andre Esterhuizen, who will continue, will likely come on the flank. And we actually haven't really seen him come on at centre recently. I've seen the red cards actually been paying both. So we've got the red card contingency. However, the red card situation is Lut Jager and Franco Mostert were both not considered for selection. Franco Mostert has been cleared, but they basically sort of planned for him not to be available because obviously, if you train Monday, Tuesday, and then the red card is upheld, we would have only really had a Wednesday and a short captain's run to sort of got him going. So they basically made the decision early not to consider him for the game and go with Ruan Okia as the starter. If we look at what he's had to say about the team, Rassie said, the majority of this team were rested last week to ensure that they recover from the physically taxing match against France. And it was always our plan to name an experienced outfit against Ireland. Most of these players have faced Ireland in Dublin, as well as in the 2023 Rugby World Cup and the incoming series. So they understand the magnitude of this challenge and what to expect from the hosts. So we believe that this is the right players for this match. Then speaking about RG Snyman, he said, we are thrilled for RG and we'll do everything we can to make this a special occasion for him. He's a great player and team man, and had it not been for injuries along the way, he would have probably earned 50 caps a while ago. He deserves this achievement, and it speaks volumes about the quality of player he is. He then said that Ireland is one among the top-ranked teams in the last few years, and they are a force to be reckoned with at home. They have a good balance of experience and exciting young players in their squad, and they pose threats up front and with their talented backs. So it's going to require a massive effort to beat them. This group of players have never won a match at Ireland before, so we know how tough it's going to be to win here, and that will certainly motivate us. It'll take a colossal effort, but we are excited about the challenge, and we know that we have to be razor sharp in all departments to get the desired result. The man is not wrong. We have not won at home or away from home, in Ireland's home, in, I think it's since 2012, for about 13 years since the last time we had the Boks won in Ireland. So it's a big task for us. We've got a very good record against Ireland, but not a very good recent record. Although even then, our win percentage is only 63%, and that's because recently we've just not won a lot of games against them. If we look at some of the stats, for example, we have got 876 caps in the starting lineup, 361 in the back line, 515 amongst the forwards, and 238 caps in the backline. The average amount of caps per player in the backline is 52, in the forwards is 64, and the average players on the bench is 30. So experience is very much the name of the game, and why not? It makes sense. You know, it is such a big game, and we've got to make sure that we get a result. This has been a bit of an Everest for Rassie Erasmus. He's not been able to beat Ireland at home. It's the only country he's not won in, that he's sort of gone to and played a team against. You know, he's beaten everybody everywhere. He's beaten England, Scotland, Wales, France, New Zealand, Australia, Argentina, everybody. He's beaten everybody in the country when they played, except for Ireland. This is the only team he has not beaten away. This is a team picked to do just that, and it's a nice balance of form and experience. You know, I mean, Canan Moodie, for example, and Jesse Kriel at outside centre, that was always going to be a bit of a toss-up. The fact that there's no Kirkley Aronson meant that maybe they would have attempted to go with Ethan Hooker, for example. But again, they've gone with the experience. So, I mean, not that Canan Moodie is a 50-cap Bok, but he's got 20 caps under his name, you know, and played really well last week, playing with a lot of confidence. Back on the wing, we sometimes struggled a little bit, I think. He obviously didn't have the best game against Australia out on the wing, but he's playing with a lot of confidence, and that's the main thing. And also, you know, he's sticking with the likes of Bowen Fenter, who's been pulled early, but they're sending him back out. And I like that about this coaching staff. They're not going to bin anybody after maybe a tricky performance or two. They really do back these players. Same with Grant Williams and Moodie. It would have been very easy to have said, we need experience. It's going to be a tight game. We need to kick our threes. Let's put Andre Parr as a sort of in case of emergency break last. And they're saying no. Grant Williams, Moodie score us points in the last 20 minutes. They open up teams. We're going to back those two to keep doing that. So I think that this team is pretty bang on, to be honest. It's a bit different to what I predicted, because I got the wings wrong and the number 5 wrong. I thought they might have got RG Snyman starting, but they've resisted that temptation and they put him on the bench. What do you think of the team? Let me know down in the comments below, and let me know what you think the score prediction might be based on this team.